Hi, we made this short video to introduce you to something we call our watercolor wall. In the configuration shown in this video, it's a wall 7 feet wide and 4 feet high. But it's really a method of making a touch-sensitive surface that could be other widths and heights. And the way that the surface is divided into different regions is entirely arbitrary. What you see here is something we did for a children's hospital where they favored curving lines and a non-realistic representation, but really any way of dividing the space is possible. The zones could be larger or smaller. So what this does is it does something very simply, but we think it does it very well. As you touch the small touch-sensitive zones, they change color beneath your hand until they reach a color that you like, and then you take your finger off the surface and it stays that color. This lets you arrange the surface into zones of different color that flow beautifully into one another in the same way that watercolor paint flows from one section to another on a canvas. And this simple action lends itself to social behavior, just lets you create something beautiful and leave that behind you in your short visit. And we did aim it toward the length of time that a person might want to be distracted in a hospital or other healthcare waiting room situation. It's also something you can do with other people, as we'll see in a short while. I should also pause to mention that the entire surface is completely smooth. It's covered in a siliconized polycarbonate that's extremely abrasion resistant and can be wiped with all of the solvents typically used in healthcare settings. There's no tiny cracks or fissures in which germs can hide. It also meets a Class 1 flame spread rating. All the electrical parts are UL listed. The entire thing is approved for use in just about all 50 states, even meeting the stringent requirements of most healthcare institutions. So this is all it does, is it changes colors as you touch the different areas. And it's something that one person, two people, or three people can do. And sometimes we're asked, well, why doesn't it do more? Where are all the bells and whistles? And then we remind people that often in a healthcare environment, there are people of very different ages, abilities to hold their interest, previous experiences with technology. People with arthritic hands can't often grasp controllers or press buttons as easily, so all you have to do is reach out and touch. And it gives you the experience of controlling your environment, which is exactly the opposite of the way people often feel in a healthcare setting, where things are being done to them. And it lets them create something that doesn't have a literal meaning, but it's just a really beautiful mixing of colors. It's hard to appreciate in a video just how good the colors are, but we worked pretty hard to get a really wide color gamut. We specify our own LEDs, and we write our own algorithms to mix the red, green, and blue elements to create the colors. So what you see is really, it's almost like an art piece that visitors help create. And again, I want to stress that the particular way in which these zones are divided is completely arbitrary. They could be straight lines, they could be many small pieces, they could be fewer big pieces, they could vary in size and shape. They don't have to be these curves. This is just a particular design we did for a particular children's hospital. And you get to leave something beautiful behind.